In 1960, Arnold Palmer did something impossible. He won the Masters, he won the U.S. Open.
The six-footer drops in. Sensational Arnold Palmer's 282 wins his second Masters in 3 years.
And he clawed his way to 8 total victories in a single season. He was the undisputed king of the sport. His reward for that historic dominance? $81,000. That is the official number. $80,968 in prize money. That was the absolute ceiling of professional golf. Now, fast forward to 2024. Scottie Scheffler had a season that felt eerily similar to Arnie's. Dominant, surgical, inevitable. But when the dust settled on the Tour Championship, Scheffler didn't walk away with 80 grand. Between official prize money, the FedEx Cup bonus, and the Comcast Top 10 payouts, Scottie Scheffler banked over $70 million strictly from hitting a golf ball. If you pull out your phone and punch Palmer's $81,000 into a standard inflation calculator, it spits out a number around $850,000 in today's money. That math tells you that Scottie Scheffler made 82 times more money than Arnold Palmer. It tells you the modern game is infinitely richer and that Arnie was playing for scraps. And that is a lie. See, the inflation calculator is broken. It assumes rich people buy the same things poor people buy. Milk, bread, gas, they don't. To understand who was actually richer, we have to use what I call the real estate ratio. In 1960, the median American home cost about $11,900. That means with his paltry earnings, Arnold Palmer could buy nearly 7 fully paid-off houses in a single year. He was buying the neighborhood. Now look at Scottie. The median home in the U.S. today is hovering around $450,000. With his $70 million on-course haul, Scheffler could buy 155 houses. So on paper, the debate is over. Scheffler wins. He can buy a small city, while Palmer could only buy a cul-de-sac. But if you stop the video here, you're missing the entire point of the economy Palmer built. Because in 1960, the number on the check was just the tip of the iceberg. The real money wasn't on the leaderboard. It was hidden in a handshake. Here is why your calculator is lying to you. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, the tool we use to measure inflation, tracks the price of a basket of goods for the average American. That basket is filled with milk, eggs, unleaded gas, and maybe a pair of Levi's. But Arnold Palmer wasn't buying milk. He was buying airplanes. When you are rich, you experience a completely different type of inflation called asset price inflation. And while the price of milk has gone up about 10 times since 1960, the price of being rich has gone up 100 times. Let's look at the ultimate status symbol, the private club. In 1960, joining an elite country club might cost you a few $1,000s, an amount a successful dentist could afford. It was exclusive, but accessible. Today, initiation fees at top-tier clubs have exploded, doubling in just the last 3 years alone. We are seeing $150,000, $250,000, even $500,000 just to get your foot in the door. So while Scheffler has significantly more raw cash, the cost of admission to the elite class has skyrocketed. In 1960, earning $81,000 didn't just make you comfortable, it put you in the top 0.01% of all American households. Palmer was statistically wealthier than the CEOs of the companies sponsoring him. He was a financial peer to the tycoons he played with. Scheffler's $70 million is obviously massive, but in the context of 2024, where billionaire hedge fund managers make $70 million in a week, Scheffler is simply a very well-paid employee. Palmer was the owner. Scheffler is the labor. But looking at their prize money is a distraction. The real money, the fortune that would eventually turn Arnold Palmer into the first billion-dollar athlete, wasn't found on a scorecard. In 1960, if Arnold Palmer wanted to get rich, he couldn't just win the Masters. He had to go to work. We have this romantic idea that Palmer was living a life of leisure. The reality? He was the original gig economy worker. The defining moment of his financial life didn't happen on the 18th green at Augusta. It happened in a quiet room with a lawyer named Mark McCormick. At the time, athletes didn't have agents. They had advisors, who maybe helped them file taxes. But Palmer was tired of handling his own business. He looked McCormick in the eye and said he wanted him to manage everything. McCormick agreed. And here's the crazy part. They never signed a contract. For decades, the multi-million-dollar empire that invented modern sports marketing, IMG, was based entirely on a handshake. No lawyers, no exit clauses, just trust. But that handshake came with a grind that would break a modern player. While Scottie Scheffler takes private jets to signature events with guaranteed payouts, Palmer was barnstorming. He would finish a major championship on Sunday, jump in a car, and fly to a random town in Iowa or Nebraska to play an exhibition match on a Monday. His fee? $500. Maybe $750 if it was a weekend. He was grinding for rent money. He was selling motor oil for Pennzoil, rental cars for Hertz, and dry cleaning services. He wasn't just a golfer, he was a traveling salesman. If Palmer didn't show up, Palmer didn't get paid. So when we compare their bank accounts, we are comparing two different species. Palmer was a hustler who had to sing for his supper. Scottie Scheffler, he is a salaried corporate executive. He operates inside a machine that prints money, whether he interacts with a fan or not. In 2024, Scottie Scheffler didn't just play golf. He executed a financial algorithm. We mentioned earlier that his total haul was north of $70 million. But the scariest part isn't the total, it's the efficiency. If you take every single shot Scottie hit in the 2024 season, every drive, every chip, every tap-in putt, and divide it by his bank deposit, the math is nauseating. Scottie Scheffler made $12,000 every time he swung the club. Think about that. He steps up to a tee box, whiffs a practice swing, and by the time he actually hits the ball, he has earned the equivalent of a 2010 Honda Civic. But the real controversy isn't how much he makes when he wins, it's how much he makes when he doesn't play. Arnold Palmer played in an era of no cut, no cash. If he missed the cut on Friday, he went home with $0 and a gas bill. It was financial Darwinism. Scottie Scheffler lives in the era of the safety net. In 2024, Scheffler received an $8 million bonus from the Comcast Business Top 10. What is that? It's a check the PGA Tour writes you just for having a good regular season. He got another $8 million from the Player Impact Program, a popularity contest where the tour pays you for generating clicks on social media. That is $16 million in guaranteed cash. That is 200 times what Palmer made in 1960, and Scheffler didn't have to hit a single golf ball to get it. He could have broken his leg in January, and the checks would still clear. This is the fundamental shift. Palmer was an entertainer who took on 100% of the financial risk. Scheffler is a corporate asset who has been de-risked. But why is the PGA Tour suddenly handing out $8 million bonuses like candy? The answer isn't because they love Scottie, it's because they are terrified. Scottie Scheffler isn't 800 times better at golf than Arnold Palmer. He is just lucky enough to be playing in the middle of a perfect economic storm created by two specific forces. First, you have the Tiger tax. For 20 years, Tiger Woods didn't just beat the field, he bullied the television networks. When Tiger played, ratings tripled. Advertisers backed up dump trucks full of cash to the PGA Tour headquarters just to be near him. The purses, the actual prize money, skyrocketed solely because Tiger existed. Scottie Scheffler is drafting behind the Ferrari that Tiger built. But the second force is even more powerful. The LIV Subsidy. A few years ago, the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League showed up with unlimited money and started poaching players. They offered guys hundreds of millions just to switch jerseys. The PGA Tour panicked. They realized that loyalty wasn't enough. They had to pay up. Suddenly, purses doubled overnight. The FedEx Cup bonus jumped to $25 million. Signature events appeared out of thin air. This is critical context. Arnold Palmer was paid entertainment money. The tour paid him because he sold tickets. Scottie Scheffler is being paid retention money. A huge chunk of that $70 million isn't a reward for good golf, it's a bribe to keep him from leaving. So Scheffler's bank account is swollen by fear and history. He is the beneficiary of a war he didn't start. But making money is one thing. Spending it is another. And nobody spent money with as much style as the king. Here is the thing about money. It buys comfort, but it absolutely cannot buy cool. Scottie Scheffler travels like a Fortune 500 CEO. He flies private, likely NetJets or a similar charter. He travels with an entourage, a swing coach, a physio, a trainer, maybe a mental coach. It is a mobile corporation designed to strip away every distraction. Arnold Palmer didn't hire a pilot. He was the pilot. Arnie would finish a round, walk straight to the parking lot, drive to the local airstrip, and jump into the cockpit of his own Aero Commander. He was logging his own flight hours, navigating thunderstorms over the Midwest while thinking about his putting stroke. It was dangerous, it was inefficient, and it was undeniably the coolest thing an athlete has ever done. Scheffler pays people to handle his life. Palmer took the controls. And then there is the help. In 1960, a caddy was a guy you picked up at the local club. You paid him a flat fee and maybe a small tip if you won. In 2024, the caddy is a partner. Meet Ted Scott, Scottie Scheffler's looper. Last season, based on standard caddy payout rates, Ted Scott earned an estimated $5 million. Let me put that in perspective. The guy carrying Scottie Scheffler's bag made more money than Rory McIlroy did in 2010. He made more than the majority of the guys playing on the PGA Tour. Scheffler's operation is bloated with expenses that Palmer couldn't even dream of. But despite the costs, Scheffler is still netting tens of millions a year. He is winning the cash game, but cash burns. Palmer knew that a paycheck, even a big one, is temporary. If you want to be rich forever, you don't want a salary, you want equity. Here is the most dangerous trap in sports economics: confusing high income with wealth. Scottie Scheffler has high income. He collects checks. When he wears a Nike hat or swings a tailor-made driver, he is renting out his body as a billboard. The moment he stops winning, the checks stop coming. He is, by definition, a highly paid employee. Arnold Palmer understood something Scottie hasn't figured out yet. You don't get dynasty rich by collecting a salary. You get rich by owning the factory. Palmer didn't just take endorsement checks. He pivoted to equity. In 1974, he didn't just join the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, he bought it. He took his golf winnings and poured them into Florida real estate. Today, that isn't just a golf course, it's a gold mine. Then, he looked at the media landscape. He realized that people loved watching golf, but there was nowhere to watch it 24/7. So he co-founded the Golf Channel. Think about the difference. Scheffler appears on TV. Palmer owned the network. When the Golf Channel was sold to Comcast, Arnie wasn't cashing a tournament prize check. He was cashing out as a media mogul. And finally, the drink. The half lemonade, half iced tea. When you buy an Arnold Palmer at the gas station, Arnie's estate gets a cut. It is the ultimate passive income stream. He branded a liquid. Scottie Scheffler is currently in the cash trap. He has tens of millions sitting in the bank, losing value to inflation every year. Unless he starts buying teams, brands, or leagues, he will always just be a rich golfer. Arnold Palmer died a billionaire because he transitioned from labor to founder. So let's pull the final block and watch the tower fall. Who wins? If you are an accountant, the winner is Scottie Scheffler. It's not even close. The sheer velocity of modern money, the $25 million bonuses, the $4 million weekends, buried Arnie's $81,000 season under a mountain of zeros. Scheffler has generated more liquid cash in 24 months than Palmer saw in his entire competitive career. But if you look at the context, the power, the ownership, the lifestyle, the math flips. Scottie Scheffler is rich. Arnold Palmer was king. There is a difference. Scheffler is a multi-millionaire who plays golf for a living. He goes home to a nice house, he raises his kids, and he stays out of trouble. He is the model employee. Palmer was a cultural force. He didn't just have money, he had gravity. He dined with presidents. He flew his own jet into the sunset. He built the companies that employ the people who pay Scheffler today. Scottie Scheffler is standing on top of a mountain of money, but he didn't build the mountain. Arnold Palmer did. So here is the final verdict. If you could choose a bank account, you take Scottie Scheffler's. You take the guaranteed millions, the safety net, and the generational wealth that comes with zero risk. But if you could choose a life, you take Arnie's. You take the handshake deals, the risk, the equity, and the swagger of a man who knew he owned the whole damn show. Scottie Scheffler is the richest player in history, but Arnold Palmer, he was the only one who was priceless. Now I want to hear from you. Is the modern game's money ruined by the LIV Subsidy, or is Scottie Scheffler worth every penny of that $70 million? Head down to the comments and pick a side. I'll see you down there.